Hello, Virgo. I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com, and this is your energy update for the week of the 6th of September 2021. I hope you're doing well. Be sure to check out your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus sign for a complete picture of all of the energies that you've got going on this week, Virgo, because you're more than just your sun sign, of course. Now, I've got a live show 3 times a week, live here on YouTube. It's called Psychic Cafe. I would love to have more Virgo energy in there with me. And if you're interested in a private reading with me, they are available from my website, BeHealing.com. You can find a link for that below in the description box and also one up there as well. So let's find out what are in your energies this week, Virgo. The awakening. Waking up to something being stirred inside of you, maybe something that you'd forgotten about that's inside of you, something that you enjoy doing or something like that. It could be. Let's find out more for Virgo. What's this energy for Virgo here? What's this awakening about? What's this week about for Virgo? What's this? Oh, that's too many. I'm told to take them all. What the hell? Okay. Let's take them all. Well, we know we've got the soulmate card out here because I recognize that one. Something about your soulmate, awakening up to your soulmate, something like that. Illumination, awakening, same sign. Mischief and paradox. Oh, I feel like your higher self is making mischief out of itself. It's like redirecting you. It's a double blind kind of a situation here. What do I mean by that? It's like you decide on something, maybe someone, and then you think that's my person, and then you get all of these signs that it's not, and then you give up, and then the moment you give up, like turn around and like, yeah, I was only joking. It's something like that. There's mischief going on, and you might be waking up to that, and it's something to do with the soulmate here, so something to do with your love life. Wow. Let's find out more, Virgo. What's going on for Virgo here this week? Tell us more about this. That's a very interesting energies there. No wonder they want me to take the 4 cards there, because I wouldn't have got that from one card. Or maybe I would. Pretty intuitive, you know. Ace of Pentacles, here's a big offer. Or someone that you would want to make a big offer to. It could have been a big offer that you've made previously before and they've said no, and that's the paradox behind it, and it all turns around. It's a double blind. Very strange energies, Virgo. It feels like something that you've tried before works out this time, just as you let go of it because you're like, this is never going to work. And then it does. Death and rebirth. You needed to let it go, or you will be letting it go this week so it can be reborn as something new. There's just a slight tweak about it. So while you were holding on to it, Virgo, and you were wanting it to happen and you believed in it, it couldn't happen because it wasn't actually in line with the true energies of it. Do you get that? So maybe you thought, like, this person is right for me and I want to go down this route with them, and this is what it is. But it's meant to be something else from that. And so the rigidity that was in your mind, the boxes that you were putting it in, you had to let go of the whole thing in order to take it out of those boxes. And then it comes back in, but it's slightly different. It's slightly different. The parameters have changed, or their intentions have changed, or your intentions have changed. You've both grown, or I don't know. It could be like, it could be something like you thought someone was your soulmate, but you want to have children and they didn't want to have children, and they come back into you, but you have to give it up, right? Because it's not what you want. They're not compatible with you, no matter how much you thought they was your soulmate and right for you in every way. They weren't, because they didn't want children. You give it up. They come back and say, best mates had a kid and I really want my own kids now. It's something like that. It's something like that. And then you realize that you're on the same page with them, but it did needed to be let go of. Missing out on something here. Right. So I feel like this could be, it could be a job. It could be a relationship. Wait, well, we got the soulmate card out there. So you could have just like gone, well, I can't give up on that dream. I want to have children, or whatever it is that your deal breaker was. I can't do that. And so you weren't willing to leave yourself out of it, of giving up on that dream that you had. And it might have really broken your heart, that, to say, well, we can't do this then. But that's very confusing, right? Because that you felt that they were your soulmate. But I'm getting a very strong, I'm not willing to compromise on this kind of thing. So you did have to give up on the whole relationship because of it, to let go completely, right? The Queen of Swords, cutting it out. You weren't willing to compromise, and that's a good thing. So you cut it out. It's like, well, compatibility is very important, right? We can't just go off feelings. We should feel connected, like especially the higher vibration we are, we'll feel connected to pretty much everybody, right? But we're not meant to have a relationship with just anybody. We've got to make sure compatibility is there. So we've got to want the same things, and we've got to have like some level of compatibility with for what's important to us, our core values. They've got to be on the same page, right? There's just some things that are deal breakers, and like having a family, that was just my example, by the way. But it could be anything for you, but we've got to have that compatibility, and it feels like you knew that, and so you've had to say no to this, and then it comes back around again. It's almost like you needed that test to stand up for what it is that you wanted, not by the person, by the universe. It's almost like they came into your life when they didn't want the thing that you wanted, so you get clear. It's like, no, this is a deal breaker. I definitely want this. Empress is the mother, babies, giving birth. But it's also a manifestation, maybe, of a big offer. So it feels to me, Virgo, like you've made this big offer before, and then someone said, no, it's not exactly what I want. Very well could be about children for some of you, hey? A big offer. Okay, tell us what's behind this. Stripping illusions and teaching, big learning moment here. And stripping illusions, so this could have been a very confusing situation for you before, Virgo. Because it appeared that they were right, but then they weren't. There was an incompatibility there, and it was an important one. So stripping illusions there. So it was about teaching you what you really want, what's really truly important to you, so that you weren't compromising. Maybe you've been compromising in the past, meaning way too willing to give up the things that you want for someone else and what they want. Giving yourself up to be in a relationship, something like that, and it feels like you stood your ground this time and gone, no, death and rebirth. So now it can be reborn because you let it go completely. Oh, when the universe does that, well, you've got to let it go completely, and it comes back around again. For your wishes to be fulfilled, for all of your wishes to be fulfilled. That's it, right? The universe has wanted you to get everything that you wanted, not just some of it. That's why. And so it can be reborn as the thing that it is. Now, for some of you, it might not be the same person. It might not be someone coming around again. But the paradox is that double blind kind of thing. It could just be someone like new right there when you stop trying to compromise yourself, or when you try and stop like banging on that door that isn't being answered. Self-love is behind that. And so that's the process you've been going through, isn't it? Loving yourself, like, well, I do deserve to have my wishes fulfilled. And the universe is like, yes, yes, Virgo, you do. And now you can have it, Virgo, because you've realized that. So Five of Pentacles, not willing to compromise here, not willing to leave yourself out anymore. Now, you could have been in like codependent patterns before this, way too willing to leave yourself out of it. It is that card, Four of Inspiration. It was one of those cards that dropped out before. It's the marriage card. So now you can commit because you've proved to the universe that you're not going to give up any of your wishes. And now you're given somebody that you can commit to here because you've committed to yourself and your own wishes. That's what it is. Very down to earth love story here. Libra had a love story as well. So if you got Libra in your chart, definitely check that one out. But Libra had a love story too, and that was much more hallmarky. This is down to earth Virgo energy. This very much emotional release behind that as well. Oh, yeah. You will not compromise, and that will have been a hard decision for you to make, Virgo. Really. And then you can have it. And the emotional release that comes up with that, you're not going to be just releasing the emotions for what's going on now, but the time that you had to shut down and say, well, I'm sorry then, I can't be with you. Queen of Swords, boundaries. The Queen of Swords says no. She stands resolute in what it is that she wants. And she locks her heart up in a cage there. That's not a bad thing. That's like, I'm putting my heart aside and my feelings aside, and I'm going off the clarity of my thoughts. I want kids, you don't. This is this is an incompatibility thing. No matter how much we love each other, this is a core incompatibility, and I'm not willing to give up on my dreams for my life. So it's got to be a no. Queen of Swords. And then you feel really good after that. That's when you know you're drawing up the right boundaries, when you feel really good. Of course, you don't feel really good when you draw up a boundary like that. It's heartbreaking, breaking up with someone, right? But there's a part of you that feels good because you know you've made the right decision. Ace of Emotions is when your heart is like just full of love. So there's a very, it feels like a quick turnaround to me, this energy, Virgo. You get a quick turnaround here because you give something up and it comes back around again. Psychic development, about your boundaries. And then you're feeling good. There's something that you just knew you were making the right decision, right? To draw up that boundary. Or you will be. Some of you, yes, this might be preemptive. I'm telling you about it now to say, yes, draw up that boundary. It's definitely going to be right for you because all of your wishes, you need to give it up to have this rebirth, to have all your wishes. And it could come through that very same person. They could change their mind. But it could be someone new that's going to come in fast like that. Tell us about Virgo's love life. What's going on in Virgo's love life this week? 3 cards, huh? Okay. You've got healing family issues here. For some of you, it's about children. And healing those family issues that had you clinging to the person and wanting to settle and give something up. So what is that? Something in your family. So maybe your parents didn't have their heart's wishes fulfilled. Maybe they missed out and you're like healing those wounds. Or maybe this is like healing family issues that you had a difficult childhood and you're healing that, and that had you grasping on and settling for breadcrumbs and not what you really want, just for that attention and that bit of love that you could get. Something like that as you're healing the family issues. Then you've got wedding. So what you truly want, what you want to lock in your life because it's got everything that you want. Letting go of control issues. This is why I was laughing. Virgo, letting go of control issues. That's what you've had to do. That's why you needed to let go of this. So, because of family issues, you were trying to keep a tight hold on all of this, which is why it couldn't be what you wanted it to be. So you did make a previous offer, didn't you? A big offer, and it wasn't accepted. And that was because you were trying to constrict it so much, control it to get what you wanted from it to keep yourself safe because of the family issues coming up here. Then you got the self-love thing. It's like, no, I can't give up. I can't give up my wishes. I'm doing the self-love thing. You draw up a boundary there, and then that's when it can come in. Does it make sense? Because that's when you let go of those control issues and actually heal your family drama there and go, no, oh, you know what? My mum missed out on it. I'm not going to miss out on it. I'm not going to do the same thing. Well, it might not be about kids because your mum obviously had you, right? So, what else? What do you need to release? Exactly. A personal issue reaches resolution. So you've got issues in the tissues, issues behind this. And you do need to release. Some Virgos, you're going to be different timelines. These are energy updates, right? And so some of us are ahead of the game. Some of us are like well into this lesson kind of thing, of being true to ourselves and self-love. Some of us are a little bit behind the ball. So these are the energies that are going on. Take it as it resonates, as in wherever you are on this journey to self-love and not giving up what it is that you truly want, because there is something to release here, big time. Some of you might have just done it. Some of you might be doing it this week, especially once you've heard this reading, right? And some of you might be just headed into that. Or, and in other words, of drawing up those boundaries and going, you know what, this isn't, what I truly want. This has got to be a no to me. Just by hearing this reading and saying, like, if you let it go, there will be something that is for you. Just you don't need to settle. You don't need to settle. So tell us more. Tell us more for Virgo. Spontaneity. Spontaneity. So be spontaneous and express yourself. Wow. Yeah. Speak your truth here. Speak your truth, whichever way it is for you. If you're drawing up those boundaries, definitely speak that truth up here. Be spontaneous about it. When your feeling takes you, say it. Express yourself. Move beyond the constraints of those family issues that you've had, and move beyond the constraints of the control behind this as well, to keep yourself from pain. Let go of that. Virgo, it's one of the biggest Virgo things, isn't it? Taking control. To try, it's your kind of sabotage. It's the way that you deal with pain most, is what I've noticed with Virgos, is that you'll take control of it. Put things neatly in a box, that kind of thing. Take control of it so that you don't get hurt. And that's kind of what you need to give up in order to get what it is that you want. You've got the golden mirror, self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing, one-sided relationship. Only one person getting their needs met. I'm not particularly picking up a narcissist vibe from all of this, but maybe some of you have been in that dynamic, and that could be what's scaring you, scaring the poop out of you. Kisses here, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, and falling in love. You've got serious soulmate energy going on this week here, Virgo, but it's still a bit messy. It's still a bit messy. I think a lot of you are still going to be kind of in the mess of it and sorting it out. Calling of the muse, call of the muse here. So some of you are calling this soulmate in. You're letting go of those that aren't, of someone that isn't. They could come back in now, hey? But don't cling to that. That's how a lot of people are getting stuck. They're clinging to the one that isn't, hoping that they're going to come back. Positivity. So be positive about it. Have hope. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please let me always feel gratitude for something, even a tiny thing, in even hardest of situations, right? I think it's going to be a tricky week for you, Virgo. I think a lot of you are going to be drawing up those boundaries and saying no, and that can be heartbreaking when you do that. And some of you are already moving through that and have done that, and you're getting the stuff, the good stuff at the end of it, the reward for it. So whichever part of this journey you're on, these are the energies that are about. So take heed of that. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment. I'd love to know what's going on below. While you're down there, don't forget to click on that like button and consider hitting that subscribe button along with that notification bell to hear more from me as well. Have the best week ever, Virgo, and I will see you in the daily energy update tomorrow. Bye.